Alright guys, so hello everyone on YouTube, welcome back to my channel, Masquerade here. Today I'm going to be making this video just because things are moving a little bit too fast for me. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I have some movies, DVDs and VHS tapes that are going to be probably thrown out in the end because my dad gathered them into the garage, meaning that they might not be able to be here with me for the long run. Because, you know, nowadays I don't know which type of people watches DVDs and VHS tapes anymore. I mean, there are collectors out there for nostalgia reasons, but I thought before these DVDs and VHS tapes goes away, I thought it would be a good idea to showcase them so that way I have something in memory, a video showing that I had these movies and I grew up with them, and share some of the movies that I've watched over the time, which I think would be a good video idea. So I have 4 bags here, down here, DVDs and VHS tapes that I've watched when I was younger, throughout the ages, so I thought why not share it with you guys. So we're gonna go in like a slow pace. I'm going to be showing it to you guys. I'm gonna be explaining what the premise or the story, the plot is of the movie. Talk about the movie. I am freestyling this. I am freestyling this. So I've seen a lot of movies over the years, so I might not be able to remember every single detail of each movie that I've seen. But I'm going to try my best to try to explain what has happened or what I could remember from these movies. So without further ado, let's get on with this. So there's no particular order in which I'm going to present this. I'm just going to grab whatever I see and present it to you guys. So the first movie I would like to showcase is Quest of Camelot, the DVD version. However, if you open inside, there is nothing, but it kind of looks like this right here. This is how the front looks. This is how the back looks. And so I don't know where the actual DVD went, but yeah, that's what we had a long time ago. So the Quest of Camelot, basically what the story is that there's this girl, I don't know her name. This girl lives in the kingdom of Camelot, where you have like legends like King Arthur, Excalibur, Merlin the Wizard, all that stuff. And there's this bad guy that comes through. He's not presented here, but there's a bad guy who wants to overthrow the kingdom of Camelot. And so he wants to obtain power and rule the kingdom. So he grabs Excalibur, which is the sword right here, the powerful magical sword that we know in stories, in tales. And her father was one of the knights of the Round Table. He got killed by the bad guy, and she is in a predicament where the bad guy try to take over. So so the bad guy comes into her house and her village and creates a mess, kidnapping her mother. He first kidnapped her first, but then she was able to get away. So her mission is to stop the evil guy, the main villain, in order to take over Camelot. So along the journey, she meets this guy who is blind, but he also has a silver falcon as a pet. And they go on a journey. They go to this journey to reach Camelot to stop the evil guy. And along the way, they meet the dragons, the twin-headed dragons. They're the comedic version of this story. They're pretty funny. And along the journey, also the bad guy creates an army of weapon soldiers. This is one of them. Previously, this was a chicken, but you combine the chicken with an axe, and now the chicken has an axe for a beak. So there's some evil spell that happened with it. But if you see the movie, you'll be able to tell what I'm talking about. So in the end, they all work together to fight against the main villain, and at the end of the day, they became victorious and they were able to win. The sword is restored to the stone and restored to King Arthur, the king, and he was able to be knighted, and I think they got together. I don't know what happens after the dragons, but everything worked out, so they were able to win. Not a bad movie. This is not a musical, or is it? Oh yeah. There's some musicals in here. There's singing, but it was a nice movie. And then I'll also be giving a rating for each of the movies that I have presented. So this one, I'll give it a 6.1. All right. So that is The Quest of Camelot, made by Warner Brothers Family Entertainment. What else can I say? Oh, it's G-rated, so general audience. Let's see here. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Quest of Camelot. So that's one movie. Next up, okay, a random one. It's called The Red Riding Hood and Goldilocks. I don't know. I have never seen this movie before. This is a VHS tape, as you can see. And here's in the back. It's basically Little Red Riding Hood, I think. Okay, I'm gonna read the description real quick. Oh, it's just a 30-minute color video. Very short. So it says, the classic story of Little Red Riding Hood and much beloved tale of Goldilocks and the Three Bears are among the most cherished stories in children's literature. These perennial, delightful tales will captivate children and adults as they have for many generations. Okay. Oh, it's like a narrative video. Read by Meg Ryan. Executive producers are Mike Progue and Mark Snotnick. Directed by C.W. Rogers. Music by Art Lande. Illustration by... Okay, I'm kind of butchering these names. I'm sorry. And then on the bottom here says, look for more classic children's story from Rabbit Ears Production. They're all presented by award-winning artists and are also available as compact discs, audio cassettes, books, and book audio cassette packages. Okay, so not much of a movie, just a little short video of like the classic iconic children's stories. So nothing too much here, I guess. But yeah, that was a VHS tape if you guys never seen one before. Probably the younger generations. Look what we have here. Star Wars 1, The Phantom Menace. So this one is a classic for me. So there's the discussion between, are you a Star Wars fan or are you a Star Trek fan? So as you can see, I was a major Star Wars fan. This one is like a preview because through the 6 Star Wars movies, there was 3 from the older generation. So those were the Star Wars movies of the previous. So this would be the prequel of the original. So yeah, very classic. This is what it looked like, the VHS tape. Here's the back. The racing scene is very iconic. You got Anakin Skywalker. You got Obi-Wan Kenobi. I forgot his name. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm kind of drawing a blank. Queen Amidala from Naboo. And yeah, this was a solid movie. I really enjoyed watching this. This is PG rated. Jar Jar Binks, the comedic effect. And I don't know if I should read the entire thing. I think pretty much everyone knows this story. Or, oh, okay, Lucasfilm. So yeah, this was really fun to watch. So, okay, oh yeah. Basically, what happened is you have 2 Jedis were on a mission. They were on a mission to stop the Federation of these 2 alien species that are trying to take over the planet Naboo, or the city of Queen Amidala. So they were using the droid army to occupy different galaxies, different nations, and so these 2 are trying to stop that from happening. So they go on a mission to save Queen Amidala. They escape from Naboo, so that way they won't be captured for ransom, for political things. So while they're escaping, they got into an accident where they landed in the planet Tatooine, where this guy lives, young Anakin Skywalker, and he was living with his mother. So they tried to get back on their mission, but then they had some situations where they had to go on a racing track in order to get the supplies or a ship, so that way they could return. They were able to win, which was pretty epic. Anakin was the lead star on this part, and he was able to journey with them, and they went to the planet, I forgot what it was, but the modern version of a city. You'll know what I'm talking about. So they meet the Jedi Council. You have Yoda, who said like they were testing. You have Mace Windu. Mace Windu didn't feel too highly of Anakin. Yoda was kind of suspicious about Anakin, I think, in the movie. But Qui-Gon Jinn, I think that's his name, he vouched for Anakin because he thought he had the Force in him. So he thought he had some potential, basically. So after that, they decide to go back and reclaim Naboo. Queen Amidala, what was her name? Actress Natalie Portman. I think she did a really good job in acting the part. And then they were able to face this guy. What was his name? His name, Darth Maul. Yeah, he had the dual lightsabers. Like, it's a one single lightsabers, but two swords coming out. So they faced against him, the droid army, and the Federation, and ultimately they were able to win, which was great. But unfortunately, spoiler alert, kind of this guy dies, and then Kenobi is taking Anakin Skywalker as his new Padawan, and peace was restored, and that was the end of the movie. So I'm going to also read this one. So it says, every generation has a legend, every journey has a first step, every saga has a beginning. So this was kind of like the beginning. I thought this was like the first beginning part of the Star Wars franchise, but it was sort of like a beginning slash in the future. So this is what the sides looks like. Pretty cool. The other side, Darth Maul right there. He was a good villain, in my opinion. They got some moves. Like, I've watched the Star Wars in the previous, so like the New Hope, the Jedi Returns and all that. The acrobatics or the choreography of the fight scenes is kind of really outdated. It's not as epic versions as you would see in the other, like there's the Clone Wars and then the Return of the Sith. I think their fight scenes are way more clean, way more smooth, and way more energetic compared to the others. That's one complaint I have about like the previous Star Wars movies. I know they're iconic and very much loved, but when I see two Jedi or Sith going at it and going like poking and stabbing and not like major, like really good smooth transitions with fight scenes, I am a little bit disappointed with that. But other than that, I know they're iconic and a lot of respect for them. So yeah, that is Star Wars #1, The Phantom Menace. Pretty solid movie. I would give this 7.2 as the rating. Okay, so that was that. Oh, another iconic classic, the first Jurassic Park VHS tape. This one was iconic. Oh, PG-13. You'll see why. Here's the tape for it. So this was the OG, the first original Jurassic Park. The front cover is like this. Side, you got the VHS logo, and then the back with the description. I'm not really good with actors' names or actresses' names or directors or any name at all, but this is the main character, as you can see right here. These two children were part of the journey. Her right here, she's very iconic as well, and this guy who kind of brought them. So PG-13, 2 hours and 7 minutes is how long it is. I'm gonna read the description real quick. It says, director Steven Spielberg presents a triumphant of imagination, suspense, science, and cinematic magic that has quickly become the most successful film in worldwide box office history. On a remote island, a wealthy entrepreneur secretly creates a theme park featuring living dinosaurs drawn from the prehistoric DNA. Before opening the attraction to the public, he invites a top paleontologist, a mathematician theorist, and his 2 eager grandchildren to experience the park. Okay, I think I didn't know that these 2 were his grandchildren. To experience the park and help calm anxious investors. However, their visit is anything but tranquil as the park's security system breaks down, the prehistoric creatures break out, and the excitement builds to surprising results. So also it says here, based on Michael Crichton's best-selling novel Jurassic Park, stars Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, and Richard Attenborough. It's a breathtaking adventure you'll want to experience again and again. So this is very classic, iconic. An adventure of 65 million years in the making. So this one, I'm pretty sure a lot of people might recognize or have heard of Jurassic Park. I don't know about the newer generations. They keep making the newer Jurassic Park movies, so having dinosaurs is now a thing in cinema. So I think, I don't know exactly the statistics, but I think this one started the world building of dinosaurs, in my personal opinion. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah, this one was also a very good, iconic movie. First ever seeing a dinosaur movie. Actually, what year was this made? I have no idea. I'm pretty sure I'll input something here and there. But this one was fun to watch. Yeah, basically what the description says, these 2 paleontologists discover they basically brought dinosaurs back to life, because dinosaurs has been extinct for a long time, but this guy, the old man, wanted to bring back the dinosaurs to make people see it, which is a very interesting concept. I really like it. But however, something always goes wrong. The dinosaurs are released and they all have to try to survive and get back home. So it's like kind of like a survival movie, and it's very epic, suspense, kind of thriller type experience that you would get from this. So it's a pretty solid movie. I have continued watching the Jurassic movies. I'm pretty sure there's like 3, 4, 5 more Jurassic movies out there. I'm pretty sure they're gonna keep on making more because it's a nice concept. So other than that, what else? I think that's pretty much it for this. I really like it. I'm gonna rate it 7.7 for Jurassic Park, the original. Alright. Okay, so my parents have watched movies, a lot of movies. Now, there's some movies that I haven't seen because they are super old, so I don't know what they are, and some of these movies I can't even rate them because I haven't seen them, or if I did, it was really not that memorable, or I've just not been too interested in it. But there's some movies I'll present it just to have a little reminder, which is nice. So there's a lot of musicals. I think my mom loves musical movies. I do too, some of them, but not too much. Here's one of them: Classic Musicals Collection, The Easter Parade. Kind of looks like this, by Judy Garland and Fred Astaire. I don't know if I'm probably butchering the names, but this is what it looks like. Here's the side, Warner Brothers. The description right here, and then here, and you have this. I'll just read this. I won't even rate it because I haven't seen it. But it says here, if you can't join him, beat him. When his longtime dance partner abandons him for the Siegfried Follies, Don Hughes decides to show who's who, what's what, by choosing any girl out of the chorus line and transforming her into a star. So he makes his choice and takes his chances, of course, since Fred Astaire portrays Don and Judy Garland portrays the Quarian. We know we're in for an entertainment sure thing. Strolling along 5th Avenue or going on the bum as a couple of swells, Garland and Astaire leads a parade of music. 17 Irving Berlin tunes and an Academy Award winning adaptation score arranged by Johnny Green and Roger Edens. And gotta dance fun, including Astaire drums crazy in this never-ending delight that co-stars Ann Miller performing a knockout, shaking the blues away, and Peter Lawford. Don't tell this colorful Eastern. Sorry, I don't know. Okay. Oh, it's not, even not rated, so I don't know what it would be. It's 104 minutes long, so yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's one example. Okay, I have already gone through this movie, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, on DVD. So this one was rated G. Here's that. Here's what it looks like here. And then when you open it up, you have this. So there's the DVD player. I already explained what the premise is, or the plot, the story of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, so I don't think I would need to go any further. But Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was a good musical, fun. You have Dick Van Dyke. I think he's pretty famous. He also did Mary Poppins, the OG Mary Poppins. There's a second one. I haven't seen that one yet, but Mary Poppins is also a very iconic classic. I've seen a video of a lot of British actors and actresses saying like who is the worst person or actor that did like a British accent, and all of them unanimously all of them mostly said Vin Van Dyke. So I think he tried his best, but yeah, this is the DVD version. It's a good solid movie, and if you want to know what my thoughts are for that movie, you could go back and see the G-rated live action non-animated video. So yes, so I don't need to say any more other than the rating. Okay, so the rating, it was fine. I'll give it a 6.3. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. All right, the next one. Oh, this is also a classic. It's called the Prince and the Pauper. So this is what it looks like here in the back here, and then when you open it up, you have the DVD right there. All right, The Prince and the Pauper, the grass isn't always greener, by Alan Bates, Jonathan Hyde, and Aidan Quinn. I remember this movie. This was a very good movie. I'm gonna read the back here real quick. It says, meet Prince Edward, who longs to escape from his merciless father, King Henry VIII. Meanwhile, young pauper Tom dreams of a better life away from his abusive alcoholic father. Little do the boys know that their paths are about to cross, and they will each be presented with an opportunity to leave their old life behind. Following a freak meeting, the two boys strike up a friendship and realize an uncanny physical similarity. Intrigued by the possibility to abandon their current existence, the pair changes clothes and also lives in a quest for happiness. However, they soon realize that neither boy had things any easier and now must try to reunite and exchange identities to prevent corruption in a royal kingdom. This is a solid movie, I would say. I don't see what the rating is for this movie. I would say this would be rated PG. But anyway, this movie is about these two boys. Somehow, some way, they both look very alike. They could be twins. People can't really recognize the both of them. I don't know if the story included if they were separated at birth or something. That might be a nice possibility, or for a different story. But yeah, just like the description says, both of them don't like their lives that they're living in. Even though this guy's rich, he has so much pressure and so much expectations. The guy here, he is poor, so he's living off like the bottom of the barrel. He wants to become rich, and they're able to have that lifestyle when all of a sudden they come together in a specific place. They switch their robes and they get to experience what the other half is living. So, but it is a challenge. I think being royalty have its perks, but it also has its negative. So there's pros and cons in each side. which is a nice way to showcase people that not everyone, even though their situation might be somewhat negative, there's always a positive, and even though you see them having like a lot of the positive, there's always a little bit of negative somewhere here and there. So this guy, he meets the prince that changed into a beggar. He is on a mission. See, this has been a long time since I've watched this movie, so I don't remember much. But they become friendly, and he helps the boys fight against... This is the main villain right here. This is the main villain person. I forgot what his goal was, but he was trying to overtake the throne or something. For power, for money, for fame, I don't know. But they kind of work together, and they eventually able to beat this guy. The ending was pretty good. This is a solid movie, I would say, and I really enjoyed watching it. I will give this movie... See, when I rate something, I'm just going off by feeling from what I remember and what I've seen. I'll just give this an 8.5. This was pretty solid. I really enjoyed watching this. Even though it's an old movie, I have fond memories of it. Pretty nostalgic, and I think it's a good lesson. A very good lesson to show everyone about this. So yeah, that is The Prince and the Pauper. I don't know if I said the Pauper right. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce a very old but very good classic movie, Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. So I have, okay, here's what it looks like. This is a case, because when you open it, you have this as well. Pretty cool looking, pretty nice, like a collectible type thing. This is the map. That was pretty cool. So you have different sections. It's not like one CD and you see the entire movie. You have to go through, what, 4 CDs, such as this. And I'm kind of a Lord of the Rings type guy, fan. I've seen all of it. I've seen Lord of the Rings, Fellowship, the beginning. This is the 3rd. Then you have the Hobbit series. So yeah, I've watched a lot of that. And this one is pretty good as well. So what happens in this movie is sort of like the ending of it. This is the ending of the Lord of the Rings franchise. Of course, they're continuing with the Hobbit series. There's no description, so I probably have to explain from what I remember. So Frodo and Sam, their mission is to get the ring to the fires of Mordor and to destroy it. Then we have Aragorn and his 2 pals. There's Gimli and Legolas. Sorry if I butchered their names. It's been a long time since I watched this movie, but and then Frodo and Sam is accompanied by Smeagol, Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli. Then you also have the return of what is his name? Gandalf. Okay, Gandalf now lives. So okay, it's been a long time since I've watched the previous 2 Lord of the Rings as well, but in the first one, Gandalf was kind of thrown into the abyss, but then he returns, and then we have Gandalf as the White Wizard. So there's a lot going on. I don't know how to explain it fairly well. Okay, so I'm gonna try my best. So you have, let's go each section. Okay, Frodo and Sam, they go on a trip with Smeagol. Smeagol tries to get rid of them because he wants the precious, the ring. But then eventually they go through all these areas of dangerous events. Cave, there was the spider scene. There was a scene where Sam becomes a hero and tries to he saves Frodo from capture. And then eventually they fight against Smeagol. He kind of runs away. But then towards the end, the iconic scene is that they arrive at the mountain of Mordor, to the lava, and Frodo tries to get rid of the ring, but he stares at the ring too much to where he wants to keep the ring. And then Sam tries to help him realize that we need to destroy it. And then there's this final fight scene with Frodo and Smeagol, where Smeagol bites off Frodo's finger and gets the ring, but he is thrown into the lava pit of Mordor, and he is disintegrated along with the ring, and the ring is destroyed. that helps the fight scene in the end where the Eye of Mordor gets destroyed. So that's that. Then we have Aragorn and his two pals. They go on a mission. From the previous movie, they are still in Rohan, where it's the army of horses. They are still in it. Now Gandalf has Pippin with him, and Pippin did something. Oh, hold up. So, Sauron, okay. They first defeat Sauron and his kingdom with the tree fellows, the tree monsters, and they defeat them. That was the beginning scene. Gandalf asks Sauron to surrender. Sauron refuses. Then Sauron dies because of an arrow. No. There was this another guy who stabbed Sauron in the back, and then he was shot with an arrow. Okay. Then Sauron let go of his globe that he could see into the future or something like that. Pippin grabs it. He is enticed by it. Pippin sees it. He sees the future, so he has an idea of what's to come. Gandalf sees that the prophecy or the future thing that's going to happen, so he takes Pippin to Minas Tirith, which is a kingdom of kings, the kingdom of kings. So that is the future that the orcs army is going to attack Minas Tirith. So he, knowing that that's going to happen, Gandalf takes Pippin along the journey to Minas Tirith, and then they meet the steward, who's kind of a rough guy, but he has two sons. One son who was with the Fellowship, he died. He's kind of mad about it. He has a second son who is guarding Minas Tirith, but you see the orcs attacking and invading the castle. So then a whole battle comes in, and then Gandalf sends a message to Aragorn to send help for Rohan to come in and fight against the orcs army. So you see a lot of different characters. They get the message by Gandalf sending a signal, and then they were able to charge in. However, there's also a scene where Aragorn and his two pals recruit the undead army, because with the armies that they have in hand, the orcs army is way too powerful and there's not going to be enough. So they gather all that into a huge battle. There's a scene that I really thought was very good, was Rohan coming to help the Minas Tirith, and then the yelling the death scene. It was so iconic. It got me goosebumps, chills. So I enjoyed that. And then there was also a scene where they had elephants where they were attacking, and then the final scenes where everything wrapped up was Aragorn, Legolas, and Grimith bringing the undead army, and they won. So, and then the final scene is where they go, everyone gather in, all the men that is available, able arms, go into the front gates of Mordor. And then that will be the final fight. But as you can tell from me telling you that Frodo dropped in the ring, it got destroyed, and that helped them win the battle. And so eventually everything was in order, where the men won. So the orcs lost, peace is restored, and then we get to meet, she was back, the elf, Erwin. She was able to come back and marry Aragorn and live happily ever after. The four hobbits, Frodo, Sam, Pippin, and Merry, they fought very hard, and that they were able to go back to the Shire, where they were able to go back to their lives. Sam got married to another hobbit. They lived happily ever after. And then the last scene, which was a bitter end, where Gandalf takes Frodo to another adventure-ish, and then the three other hobbits stay into the Shire and the hobbits and live their lives. And the end. That was the story of it. I don't think I missed anything, hopefully. But if you watch the movie, you pretty much know what's going on. But yeah, that is the Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. And for rating, this was very good. Dare I say, I will give this 9.7. I'll give this a 9.7 just because it's very iconic. There's some very good moments here. And yeah, so that is Lord of the Rings. The next one is also very iconic, very good. is Spider-Man, the first one. So there's this discussion of Spider-Man. There's Tony Maguire. There's Tom Holland. And I forgot the second guy's Maguire, or I'm not good with actors' names. But the three Spider-Man actors, there's like the discussion which one is your favorite. I would say this guy, just because I've grew up watching this, and this was very iconic. Okay, it's PG-13. There's a description. There's no description, so I'll probably have to explain it. But here's like what it looks like here. Spider-Man. Hold up. There's a Spider-Man here, and then there's a Spider-Man here. Widescreen special edition and the deluxe edition. I don't know what the difference is, but the story of Spider-Man goes, you have Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Well, he's not Spider-Man yet. He gets bitten by a radioactive spider and then transformed into Spider-Man, where he shoots webs. Interestingly, this Spider-Man is the only one that can shoot webs naturally without any like technology shooting device. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I've always kept up with the Spider-Man franchise. I'm not a big Spider-Man fan, but I am sort of like a small-time Spider-Man fan just because of the impact of the first movie. I've continued to watch Spider-Man 2s, 3, Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man No Way Home, all of it. I love superheroes. I'm a big Marvel. Like, there's a discussion of DC versus Marvel. I'm a Marvel guy. DC is also very good as well. Okay, to explain, so he got bitten by a radioactive spider. He wants a car. He wants to impress his girl MJ, and then he goes into a wrestling match. He faces off against I forgot the wrestler's name. Oh, anyways, he tries to get $3,000, but he only gets $100. And then the iconic saying is that Uncle Ben got killed. It'll be later on revealed in the Spider-Man 3 of who the true killer is. The initial guy, he's not the real killer, but that guy killed Uncle Ben just for the car to get away because he's a thief. Peter Parker let him go just because he was kind of salty, and then he let Uncle Ben die, kind of. It was an unfortunate accident event, but the most popular phrase in this movie is, with great power comes great responsibility. That comes from Spider-Man. It may come from other movies, I'm not sure, but from what I remember, the Spider-Man movie got that saying on point. So Spider-Man got his revenge, and then we are introduced with the real villain, the Green Goblin. The Green Goblin, and he has a son, Osborn. Forgot his name, but father and son. Of course, later on, Spider-Man 2 or 3, you realize that the son turns into the Green Goblin. Why? Because, spoiler alert, I guess, Green Goblin dies by his own glider. He and Spider-Man were having like a final fight, and it got to a point where Green Goblin was trying to kill Spider-Man from the back from his glider with sharp blades, but Spider-Man was able to do a backflip, and the blades kind of killed him instead. And he wants to seek revenge. MJ likes Peter, but she has a career, her dream of becoming an actress. You'll see more of that in the Spider-Man 2. And then he loves MJ, but he also wants to go to college. You'll see more of their story move on into further, but he liked MJ, so you have this love triangle that's happening. And I think I should be mentioning what really happens, but it's Spider-Man versus the Green Goblin. Very iconic. Green Goblin has a lot of gadgets. Also, another iconic scene, I guess, was Osborn. He was fired from his job. I forgot what his job was maybe creating weapons or something like that. But he turns into the Green Goblin with the green solution or injection. I don't remember clearly, but yeah, this one is very, very good, very solid. What can I give it? I'll rate it. It is, I would say, an 8.2 for my rating. And it's a pretty solid movie. I liked it. Love watching Spider-Man do his thing. Acrobatics wise, it's very good. I don't know if they used too much CGI, maybe, but it was a pretty smooth movie, so I enjoyed watching it. So that is Spider-Man, the very first one. Okay, I have no idea what this movie is. It's called the Rocketeer. I don't know if people watched it, but there's the CD, that. Looks interesting. This one kind of reminds me of Iron Man, not gonna lie. 2 thumbs up. Maybe I would want to watch this one. It kind of looks interesting. It says here, the discovery of a top secret jetpack hurls test pilot Cliff Second into a daring adventure of mystery, suspense, and intrigue. Cliff encounters an assortment of ruthless villains led by a Hollywood screen star who's a secret Nazi spy, Timothy Dalton. With the help of his actress girlfriend, the young pilot battles enormous odds to defeat his foes, who are anxious to use the device in an evil plan to rule the world. The dangerous mission transforms an ordinary young man into an extraordinary hero. That is pretty interesting. High-flying entertainment. So, it says thrills and fun, buckle up and hang on tight. A blast. So I haven't watched this. It's a Walt Disney home video. And it's PG rated, which is perfect for me. And I think I would definitely check it out. The Rocketeer. So maybe I'll watch it in a different sense. Because, you know, like I said, these DVDs are going to be away no more. Because we can't keep on having these. But as far as like watching it, I'll definitely give it a try. It seems like my type of movie, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not gonna rate this because I haven't seen it, but maybe later on when I do review this movie, I'll give it a rating and explain it properly. Alright? So that is The Rocketeer. Aquamarine. So this is a mermaid story. So Aquamarine, I remember watching this. It was an okay rom-com. Yeah, that has some comedy, some romance in it. I thought it was pretty nice. It's kind of like similar to The Princess Diary a little bit, the vibe. It's like fun, entertaining, energetic. Maybe it might be cringy for some people, but it's a nice love story. Kind of like The Little Mermaid, a little bit. Actresses are Emma Roberts, Sarah Paxton, and JoJo. Okay, so that is them right there. You have this on the side. And then, yeah. That's the love interest, the guy. So it says the sweetest treat since Princess Diaries. Oh, look at that. Yahoo Movies. Huh. Okay, so I'm gonna read the description. 2 best friends get exactly what they fish for. Ha ha ha. Pun. For an aquarium, Aquamarine, a laugh out loud hilarious comedy about friendship. Emma Roberts, Sarah Paxton, and pop sensation JoJo star in the sweetest treat since Princess Diary. It's the end of summer and Claire Roberts and Haley JoJo have a major problem. In just 5 days, Haley's family is moving halfway around the world. These girls need a major miracle, and they get one in the form of Aquamarine, a beautiful mermaid who washes ashore in a late summer storm. Sweet but clueless to the ways of romance, she offers to grant the girls one wish if they help her find the boy of her dreams. But when they attempt to reel in the cute local lifeguard, the result is something none of them expect, and they discover that sometimes what you wish for isn't what you really want after all. Okay, so this is PG rated, which is perfect. So I'll explain this one. So these 2 girls are best friends, and their family is moving. They don't want to be separated from each other. They want a miracle. They get a miracle by a storm happening, and then this girl, Aquamarine, was washed ashore in the pool, and then both of them discover her in the pool. She likes gummies, which is pretty interesting, and they have to help her to get the wish to get this guy to love her for reals, like true love. 3 of them become best friends. Of course, there's like a mean girl type of situation where there's some bullies, but she was able to outwit them, and then eventually they go shopping, they do girl stuff, They do makeup and they have just a good time. There's also like a water tank scene, interesting. And they find out that her father, the Triton, I guess, is very angry that she left. She ran away from home. She ran away from home to find love and be interested in the humans. She got legs. When she's on dry land, she has human legs, but when she is in water, she grows a fin. It's very similar to the Little Mermaid story. But I think for me, it was a fun time watching it. It's wholesome, pretty good. And then I think the story at the end is basically they realize that, hey, change is necessary. We have to move on with our lives. We can't be together forever, but we still could keep in touch. And I think it's been a long time since I watched this movie. I don't know what happened to her. Maybe she lived with the guy happily ever after. Maybe she returned to the ocean. I'm not sure. I think it ended where her and the guy kissed. They fell in love. And then the main villain girl, she was so adamant about her. She discovered from her being in the water tank that she discovered that she is a mermaid, a creature, a monster or something. And she's trying to expose her identity. But it turns out she lost. She wasn't able to expose to anyone. And she lost on that one. And I forgot. How did this end? It was a fun. The only scenes that I remember was these guys gave her a shirt because she was practically naked, but she turned it into a dress, which was pretty cool in like a very fast style. And yeah, that was a fun movie to watch nonetheless. That's all I could say from this. Nothing too crazy, nothing too impactful. It's just a fun teen romance or rom-com. So how would I rate this? Okay, I'm going based on nostalgia a little bit, so I'm gonna give this a 5.6. All right, 5.6 for Aquamarine. Aha! A very old. I don't know why I have two of these, but this is the Neverending Story 2, part 2. All right, his name, I think it was Bastian. The Neverending Story 2. I don't know why I have two of these for some reason. I know I remember seeing the first one, but I don't remember anything at all. And I don't remember too much of this movie as well, which is a shame, but I'll read the back. This is PG, perfect. This used, what is it? Animatronics. I remember this was pretty freaky. This guy was pretty freaky to look at, because back in the day, they used animatronics as like an animation feature. Like puppeteering, basically, and that kind of freaked me out as a kid because it looks kind of, I don't know, uneasy. But anyways, it says captures the magic and spirit of the original. It was pretty good. It says here the special book flips open to cast its unending spell again. The Neverending Story 2, the next chapter, delightfully brings back the characters and creatures of Michael Enid's book for a new tall tale in which Bastian must save Fantasia from an evil sorceress and finds the courage he lacks in real life. Okay, old friend Atreyu, I'm pretty sure I butchered it, the boy warrior, folklore of Luck Dragon, and the Rock Biter rejoins Bastian, and the new creatures, namely the bird, I'm guessing that's Nimley right there, tiny wombos, mudwort, robotic giants, Junior Rockbiter, and Smurge the dragon. Is that his name? Smurge? Okay, plus an even greater array of dreamlike special effects adds to the thrills. No wonder Bastian's newest venture is as spellbinding as the first. So this is like an isekai. Basically, this guy, Bastian, the main character, gets transported into a storytelling place, a mythical fantasy place, where you got flying creatures. You got the sorceress with her two henchmen. They kind of are slow. It kind of looks like robotic. And then they travel along. They meet different types of creatures. Harp player. She was in the first movie, I remember. Now she's in the second movie. And I think basically the story kind of connects the real world and the fantasy world. How Bastian might be struggling in the real world, but through the journey that he goes through in this movie, he's able to find that confidence to face the real world, which is, I think, is a nice message for kids to see. Again, this is PG rated, and I think this is a okay movie. Not as great as I would say. It's not that terrible, but I think because of the times in the past, it is what it is. Maybe they could have done more, but this is purely for nostalgia reasons. So I'm gonna give this, not my favorite, so I'm gonna give this a 4.3 for The Never-Ending Story. Warner Brothers Family Entertainment got 2 of these. I don't know why. Again, I thought maybe we had the first one, but I guess not. But yeah, that is the Never-Ending Story. It's very iconic, classic. I don't know if many people remember this because it's an old movie, but yeah, we had this. All right, so next one. All right, sometimes I went through the list of movies, and there are some that are movies that are American but have Korean translation, because my parents watch these movies, so they need some Korean translation subtitles so that way they could read. One of them is this one, The Good Earth, and this okay. So if you look at the back, it is all Korean, and I'm pretty sure majority of people don't know Korean. There might be some that knows how to read Korean, but you could read this if you want to. But I'm gonna just explain what happens in this movie. It's a really classic, nice movie. We have Paul Mooney and Luis Rayner, Walter, I don't know. Okay, basically in this movie, this really old movie, maybe it's black and white. I think it's black and white movie. That's how you know how old it is. So you have this guy and this girl. They're husband and wife. In the beginning, the husband was trying to find a wife, and he's able to find her. And then they get married. I don't know if this might be in China. Yeah, old movie centered in old China. But they were able to live together, have children. She's a good wife. She takes care of him and the family and the kids. But they were poor, very poor. Back in the day when poor people had no choice but to do anything. He's like a workaholic. He just wants to find work so that way he could support his family. So they go through life struggling, and that's what you see a lot in this movie. It's been a long time since I watched this movie, so the things I do remember is that I don't know if a war happened, but eventually she was able to find jewels from on the ground because there was a chaos happening. I don't know if there was a riot, protest, war happening, but she was able to find gems, and that was able to help them become rich, because before that they were trying to get by. A lot of suffering happened in this movie where he was trying to find work. He was doing anything and everything, dirty or anything. There was a time where there was like a famine where the crops were not as bountiful, and they were lacking a lot of food. And the scene that kind of I remember clearly was there was a scene where all the townspeople in the village, they were starving, and so they came to their house trying to look for food. They thought they had food, but in a pot that they were stirring. But it turns out when they tried to eat it, it was dirt. And what she said was that the townspeople said like, "This is just dirt," but then she said, "Yes, but it's warm." So that goes to show how deeply poor and hungry everyone was. But then she was able to make the family rich. Now the ending scene kind of was the battle against the locusts. So there was a time where a moment where he and his family had a bountiful of harvest, wheats everywhere, and he was a rich man. But then the locusts came and tried to devour everything. So there was a battle where he asked the townspeople to help him, and if they help him, he will give some of the wheats to them as rewards. And so there was a huge battle of him, his family, his son was able to go in and help him, and I think they managed to save enough food for the next couple of days or something like that. So that's all I could remember. As you can see in the background here, there was a strategy to burn the locusts, because there were so many of them that they tried to fight against literally armies of insects. So they came up with the strategy. I think the son did, and he was very proud of him. But it is a good, solid movie to watch. You get to see just details of what they went through and the struggles that they gone through, which is kind of inspiring to see. And I mean, this looks like Oscar-winning type thing, so you know it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. As for scoring-wise, I mean, there's certain types of movies that I enjoy watching, and certain types of movies that I am biased towards of watching. But out of respect, I'll give this an 8.4. 8.4. That is really high. In my biased opinion, there's the CD right there. But it is a nice movie for everybody to watch. Aha! Okay, there's some movies, DVDs, cases that we don't have, but we do have the CDs. And this one I already talked about, which is Yours, Mine, and Ours. Really good movie. This one has like Chinese letters. So like I said before, there's like other things that kind of have to deal with my parents, where they have to watch the movie and they might have Korean subtitles. This one, I think it's all English, but for some reason there's like Chinese letters and characters. And I think I pretty much explained what this movie is all about. A pretty fun movie to watch. I don't want to read everything, but you guys know. This was probably PG. Yeah, very fun movie. Now the rating, a 7.7. I'll give this a 7.7. Pretty good. Fun. Funny, comedic. So that is that. Okay, now we have another one, another classic, the King Kong movie. Now I don't have the DVD case for this, but we do have the DVD as well. But this one, it's gotta be my favorite King Kong movie. It has Naomi Watts, Jack Black, and Adrian Brody, the eighth wonder of the world. So I think a lot of people know what King Kong is or have heard of it. So this was my very first King Kong movie. There's like continuation of King Kong versus Godzilla. So there's the titans, the kaijus of the world. So this was my first introductions. 2 thumbs up, and I'm gonna read this. It says a film director and his crew go to a mysterious island to shoot their picture when they find out the legendary beast on the island doesn't exist, and troubles come when the natives capture the crew's leading lady as a sacrifice to the monster King Kong. Thus the crew ventures into the jungle of the island to find the creature and capture it. Okay, so that's basically what it is. King Kong, the story is basically you got this big giant gorilla that is a legend. But in the first beginning parts of it, the director, there's the actress, and the crew members of the ship, they go onto this island just to look for a way to capture a movie. I think they were shooting a movie, but they come across this island, Skull Island. I think that was the name of the island. And they come across a lot of different types of creatures. Basically, insects. There was a part where the insects were ginormous. They're huge, bigger than humans. So the island is not normal. So they eventually come across him through like tribesmen members in the island. Their whole stick was like they sacrifice a woman to King Kong as a sacrifice. So that was their thing. But the gorilla and the lady fell in love, kind of thing. He fell in love with her, and she kind of felt sorry for him or something like that. But they have this nice relationship. They go through trials or challenges, struggles. They fight off different types of creatures. Pretty creepy, pretty scary sometimes. But they were able to make it out of the Skull Island, bring back King Kong so that way they could display him around throughout the world and show the people that he does exist. He's not a myth. He's not just a legend, but he's actually real life. So pretty interesting story. I've seen like King Kong mentioned in like previous movies. But this one I kind of grew up with watching. I'm pretty sure there's different types of King Kong movies back in the day. I don't know when this was airing, but a pretty solid movie. I think the iconic King Kong scene is when he goes on a tall tower facing off flying planes all around him, and he's just facing it off just by destroying them. That is like a classic King Kong type scene that you would see in this movie. But yeah, It's been a long time since I watched this movie. I don't know if he dies or he survives, but I'm gonna bet he dies. And then the girl is so sad. There was another guy. You have Jack Black. I mean, Jack Black is a legend. He stars as a director in this movie, so you get to see him in action and watch this classic old movie as well. Alright, so the rating, it is a classic, so I'm gonna give this an, it's kind of scary though. The creatures, the insects was kind of creeping me out, but it's a classic, so I'm gonna give it a 7.7 for King Kong. Alright, this next one, I've never seen this movie, but it's called A Little Romance. Sometimes my mom would have movies that I've never seen before, but they kind of dive into like romance, rom-com, relationships, drama, those types of stuff. So this might be one of them. This is a PG, which is pretty good. So here's the cover here and the background. I don't know if anyone have seen this movie. This looks like a very old movie. This might be like a acquired taste, or I don't know if anyone have seen it, but it looks pretty classic love story. So I'm gonna just read it here. And it says, dapper old rascal and park bench regular Julius, Lawrence Oliver, wants to make a place in our jumbled world for a little romance. Specifically, he aids and abets Diane Lane and Theolanus Bernard as a 13-year-old in Paris, whose genius IQs are no match for the innocent spell of first love. They decide to seal their union with a sunset kiss under Venice Bridge of Sighs. It's a perfectly impulsive puppy love scheme and a perfect trek for Pied Piper's Julius to lead. Gracefully scripted by Alan Burns, Mary Tyler Moore, overflowing with continental charm under the direction of George Roy Hill, The Sting. I've heard The Sting before from someone. It's a movie. Yeah, The Sting. It's an old movie. I haven't seen it. Someone recommended me to it, and I'm definitely going to make a video about it, so stay tuned for that. The Sting, and sets to a sublime Oscar-winning score by Georges Delure. A little romance will afford you a lot of pleasure. Okay, cool. And it's PG, so it's probably family friendly a little bit. Could be like a cheesy, like classic love story. I haven't watched it, so I don't know. I can't give it a score, but yeah, A Little Romance. I don't know if anyone's seen this or not. Probably will watch it just because it looks interesting. Now, romance and all that is not my cup of tea, but sometimes there are some good films that do have that, and it's really good. I like to explore different genres of movie, and it kind of brings out a different perspective and a different type of vibe, so that's why I appreciate it. The next one, this one's PG-13. It's called The Truth About Cats and Dogs. Never seen this movie at all. Don't know what it's about, but it looks like another love story maybe. Alright, I'm gonna read this. Charming and bittersweet, this modern day romantic comedy, a rom-com, starring Uma Thurman, Janine Garofalo, and Ben Chaplin, explores the beguiling perils of mistaken identity. Abby, a savvy, witty veterinarian who hosts her own radio talk show, is anything but confident, but when it comes to love, a petite brunette, she describes herself as tall and blonde when Brian Chaplin, a caller who is smitten by her radio persona, asks her on a date. She then talks her tall blonde neighbor Noelle into assuming her identity, setting off an escalating series of hilarious and romantic crises. So, classic rom-com. Premise is pretty interesting. It says here, warm-hearted and hilarious. It's hard to imagine that we'll see a more pleasing romantic comedy this year. Interesting. I don't know what year this movie was made. I'll probably look it up and fill you guys in. But yeah. That's the movie, The Truth About Cats and Dogs. So that is another movie like A Little Romance that I haven't seen. And this one I also haven't seen. If I did, I don't remember it. But I think this is a good movie. It's called The Perfect Storm. George Clooney and Mark Wahlberg. So pretty old movie. This is also PG-13, and I haven't seen this, so I won't be rating. But I'll read. So it says here, Atlantic swells form 100-foot walls. Wind shrieks at a maxed out force 12 in October 1991. 3 raging weather fronts, one of them Hurricane Grace, combined to form the greatest storm in record history. George Clooney and Mark Wahlberg led a talented cast in this harrowing special effects adventure that intercuts the plight of seafarers struggling to reach safe harbor with the heroics of air and sea rescue crews. Directed by Wolfgang Peterson, The Perfect Storm tosses excitement your way in waves. It says here, super suspenseful and terrifying Titanic and Jaws combined. This looks like a good movie to watch. Very adventurous, very maybe a heroic, inspiring type of movie. I like the cover. The cover looks very nice. And yeah, I haven't seen this movie, so no rating. But yeah, that is the Perfect Storm. I don't know. I'm pretty sure someone have watched this movie before. Probably not talked about as much, but yeah. So that is The Perfect Storm. Let's look at other movies that we have. So we have this, Over the Hedge. So this is the game version. So there's no description. I'll probably have to explain it. But I have seen the original Over the Hedge movie. Over the Hedge is a pretty solid, good movie in my opinion. Nostalgia reasons, and the story is kind of nice. The story goes around with like not lying. Lying is bad, that type of thing. So I forgot the names. I only know this guy. His name was Hammy, and there's a turtle, and is he a raccoon? I think so. These two are the main people in this story. So Over the Hedge is probably PG rated. It doesn't say here. I don't know where the original case went, but basically the story is that you have the turtle. He's the leader of the skunk, a couple of possums, and Hammy the squirrel. What other animals were there? There's a couple of animals. There was like a family of possums, and their mission is to try to survive the winter or hibernate, trying to find food. And you have this guy, the raccoon, who is kind of like a thief, but in the beginning he is the thief for a large bear. The large bear has a lot of food, and basically they're both trying to store up food for the season. He steals from the bear. The bear gets angry. The bear catches him and makes a deal, go find me more food. And he does, and he tries to steal. And then he meets the family of the different types of animals and tries to steal food from the humans. Now the humans get mad and they try to kill them, to the point where one of the owners hire an exterminator to get rid of the animals that are stealing her food, breaking into her house and everything like that. And interesting enough, Hammy is super fast. There was a lot of fun scenes. And then you have the exterminator who sets out traps, and then there's the homeowner. She's trying to get rid of these animals, and they have like fights here and there, kind of like what's that comedy called? My favorite comedy, slapstick comedy. And so it's a fun movie, solid movie. In the end, he realizes that he made a mistake of lying, and he kind of turns over a new leaf, joins the family and live in the forest, does the right thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the story. As for the rating, pretty good. Of course, there's always improvements needed for these types of movies, but I'll give this, if I do a nostalgia reason, it might be up, but I'm gonna give this a 6.6. So that is Over the Hedge, a DreamWorks movie. This one is also good. Brother Bear, the second part. So I've seen Brother Bear, the first part, which was really good. I would very highly praise that movie. This one is G-rated. This story takes a little bit of a different turn, but we remember Coda, and then Kenine, and then you got the two moose. I forgot their names, but it says here, by the way, I don't have the CD. I don't know where it went, but I have watched this movie. So it says here, we're back in an all-new movie, eh? Oh, because the moose are Canadian. Beauty, and not just us moose, but the large bear, that's Kenai, and his little brother bear, that's Coda, and also this new girl named Nita. She's a handful, eh? Nita knew large bear way back when he wasn't a bear. That was in the first movie, remember? Anyway, they thought they were gonna be together forever, even though they get along with two angry beavers in a mud hut. Okay, so now the great spirits say that they have to go on a great big exciting journey to break the pack. So don't trample off. Join me and my brother and there's a couple fetching moosettes in this story too. for all sorts of laugh and wild adventure. See what I did? Use the word wild because we're out of the woods, beauty. It's going to be tons of fun for the whole family, eh? Okay, so basically, you have to watch the previous movie to understand what's going on here. How this bear, Kenai, was actually previously a human, but through some spiritual powers, he transforms into a bear. And in the previous movie, spoiler alert, he decides to still become a bear to Coda, the little bear. He's a bear. He's a bear. And this girl, Nita, she was best friends, and they played together with Kenai when he was a human at a young age. Now she doesn't like the water. She has this trauma of drowning, and she is engaged to another guy. But I think, yeah, they were romantically interested with each other. So Kenai finds out that she is getting married. She has this thing where they were about to get married, but there was like a split in the crack, and it's a sign. And she goes to the grandma, who tells her that in order to let the marriage be successful, she has to go through a journey. To find Kenai, it's been a long time since I watched the movie, so I don't know exactly what went down. But she meets Kenai and everyone here, and they go on a journey to try to break the curse or something like that. So they go on an adventure where they face raccoons a lot, and the mooses, they are able to have some romantic relationship with the other female mooses. So it's all about romance. Like them being romantically involved, they find they're romantic. He's still young. He, in the story, kind of feels left out because he feels like Nita is taking away Kenai from him because they are brothers, they're close to each other, but then he feels like he's fall apart, like he's like the third wheel, and he doesn't like that, which means he doesn't like Nita. So eventually they kind of get together, and I don't know how the story ends. Maybe they live happily ever after. I'm not sure. I don't remember clearly. Oh, wait. I think she becomes a bear as well, and they live happily ever after, and that's how the movie ends. Now, I will say this movie is not as great or better as the first one, but it was an okay movie. I like sequels that kind of explore more further with the story building, the world building, the character development, the character past or present or future. So it is okay. It's an okay movie, I would say. I think that's pretty much it for explaining it. I will give this rating a 6. 6 out of 10. It's fine. So that is my rating for Brother Bear 2. Another classic, yet very nostalgic for me. Robin Williams, Jumanji. The first one. There's Jumanji 2 and Jumanji 3 with like Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson and other cast members. Jack Black as well. But this one is the OG. Robin Williams. They even mentioned it in the second or third movie of Aaron Parrish. That's his name in the movie. So it says here, an exciting, thrilling adventure the whole family will love. This is rated, I think PG. Yeah. So let me read this first. It says, when young Alan Parrish discovers a mysterious board game, he doesn't realize its unimaginable powers until he is magically transported before the eyes of his friend Sarah into the untamed jungles of Jumanji. 26 years later, he is freed from the game's spell by two unsuspecting children. Alan Robin Williams reunites with Sarah Bonnie Hutt, and together with Judy Christian Dust, Little Woman, and Peter Bradley Pierce, tries to outwit the game's powerful forces in this imaginative adventure that combines breathtaking special effects with an enchanting mixture of comedy, magic, and thrills. Robin Williams, a very iconic actor. Sadly, he passed away, but his movies will be remembered. And Jumanji, it was one of the movies that was very iconic and very memorable, as you can see. And they're still making like sequels or more videos of Jumanji, so this is one of them. Basically, Jumanji is a board game that is a mysterious board game. We don't get into the lore of the board game that much, but basically this is a magical board game that transports a lot of the things from the jungle aspect into the current era. So basically you have these two kids. First they discovered the the board from their house, they play the game, and they start to read different types of messages that makes the board game come to life and bring out different types of animals and creatures from the board game itself. It is transported into a different dimension. Here, Jumanji, one of my favorites movies so far with Robin Williams. Of course, Robin Williams, he created movies that are loads of fun, full of comedy, full of like good messages. And this one, I don't know about if it has messages or not, but it has a lot of good and interesting scenes, and it's pretty fun to watch. This one, I would give this movie the rating of, let's see, 8.6. So I'm gonna give Jumanji with Robin Williams 8.6.